in getting here, Father God, I got here, Father God. Whatever situation was going on in my life, Father God, I still got here, Father God. And I thank you for that, Father God, for that opportunity, Father God, to serve you another day while we're on earth, Father God. You've done great things for me, Father God. And I can give you all the honor and all the praise, Father God. And if nobody else wants to give it to you, I'm going to give it to you, Father God. Because you've done great things for me, Father God. Great things. I will bless the Lord with all my soul and all that is within me. That let me know once she started saying that this is a choice. This is a decision. I hate to keep pondering on the choices and decisions, but this is a choice. I choose to act the way that I want to act. I might have not woke up on the right side of the bed, but I still got the left side of the bed. He has done great things for me. Bible study, we had sung this song, and it's been in my heart ever since then. Oh, how I love Jesus. Oh, how I love Jesus. Oh, how I love Jesus. Because he first loved me. He first loved me. To God be the glory. I just got back from Chicago. Had the opportunity to ride the train. It was an excellent experience. Don't know how many times I want to experience it, but it was an excellent experience. And we want to say prayers for Pastor KATRINA as she's in Atlanta doing a wedding. So she's ministering a wedding to one of her good friends. I think, it's been a long journey for her, and she finally made it to this point to where she's getting married, something that her heart desired. So make sure you keep her prayers in her as she travels along the airways. But to God be the glory. I like to thank God just for being here. This is just another opportunity. Went to 2 homegoings this week and last week, and I just kept on pondering on John 14. I kept pondering on John 14. That's not the scripture we're going to use, but I want to open up some hearts and open up some minds. Because, oh, how I love Jesus because he first loved me. That's one of the major reasons why I need to do right by God. But John 14 says, and I'm going to read out the NIV because I like the way it sounds. I'm going to read out the NIV all today. Because for whatever reason that's hitting my spirit. The NIV says Jesus comforts his disciples. He says, do not let your heart be troubled. You believe in God, believe also in me. My Father's house has many rooms. If that there not so, would I have told you that I am going there to prepare a place for you? And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come back and take you to be with me, that you also may be where I am. You know that the way You know the way to the place where I am going.
Yes.
We know the way to the place.
You know the way.
We know the way to the room. We know the way to our Father's house. And as I say, I just want to kind of hit that nugget with you, just to kind of open up your minds. Because just like Brother Eric he said he didn't have a good night. I can't say I didn't have a good night, but it wasn't including sleep.
All right.
So in my mind, just like I told Brother Mitch, I feel like I'm just wobbling. I'm just wobbling. Because sometimes our body just don't react the way that we want it to react. And we just feel like we just wobbling. But oh, how I love Jesus. Just always give me energy inside my soul. This fleshly body may feel weak, but my soul feels strong. So that's why I'm able to come up here and do what I need to do for God. Oh, how I love Jesus. We will read from Psalms 31. And I'm going to read 1 through 3, then I'm going to skip down to 23 through 24. And we'll be reading out of the NIV.
Yes, Lord.
God is doing his job.
He is.
We got to do ours.
Amen.
We had a great time last week. The atmosphere was awesome.
Yes, God.
The house was packed.
Yes, God.
Everything went according to the way God would have it to go.
Yes.
I'd like to thank Pastor Wells, and I'd like to thank you as well for participating in that. Those who did not have an opportunity, you missed a wonderful time, but you're here now, so that's even better than it was last week. As long as we're here now. What we might as well do? Show out. I got up out of that bed, I might as well show out. As Will said, don't try to be like nobody else, be yourself. Don't tell nobody, ain't nobody tell you how to preach. If you want to crack jokes, crack a joke. But stay in my word. But to God be the glory. Psalms 31, 1 through 3, then I'm going to skip down to 23 and 24. It says, in you, Lord, I have taken refuge. Let me never be put to shame. Deliver me in your righteousness. Turn your ear to me. Come quickly to my rescue. But be my rock and refuge, a strong fortress to save me. Since you are my rock and my fortress, for the sake of your name, lead and guide me. Down to 23.
Hallelujah.
Lead and guide me. Love the Lord, all his faithful people. The Lord preserves those who are true to him, but the proud he pays back in full. Be strong and take heart. All you who hope is in the Lord. And I really stood home with me when it says, love the Lord with all his faithful people. The Lord preserves those who are true to him, but to the proud he pays back in full. How many of us proud today? And it was almost like a trick question, because I seen Elder Cody raise her hand. But if I'm proud to be a child of God, I should be raising my hand.
Amen. Say that.
But some of us may be saying, I ain't proud about everything that I'm doing. So I can't raise my hand. That don't mean I don't feel like the Lord is my shepherd.
Amen.
I shall not want. But it's just some things that's going on in my life that I'm just not proud of. And I'm here to tell you today, that's okay. That's okay. I was reading, right now, I always say who got my attention. Tony Evans got my attention. And he sends out a lot of quotes. And I know Brother Eric gets the quotes as well, because I seen him send out one that I had read as well. But he sent out, it says, Satan knows that whatever he can divide, he can dominate.
That's right.
Whatever he can divide, he can dominate. So whenever he can separate you from the love of God, he can dominate you for the things that goes on. And that's why we sometimes fall short of the glory. Because he's trying to separate us. And when he's able to accomplish that, he can dominate you. He dominates you. It also says, to the weary, about tomorrow is to forfeit your peace for today. Trust in God and rest. Sometimes we just got to rest in the Lord. I might have not woke up on the right side. Everything might not went right. Everything might not be going right. But I got to rest in the Lord. The next one says, don't focus on the size of your problem. Focus on the size of your God. And I just wanted to hit you with those thoughts. Because as I say, today is one of those, let me get your mind going. And if anybody that was here from the beginning to right now, you can kind of see a lot of people's minds ain't in the right place. And it ain't no discredit to you, but she sung a song and it should uplift your spirit. But it didn't reach that magnitude. It hit the surface, cup half full, but it never reached over the top so it can have an overflow. Because if it would have had an overflow, you would have stood up and probably honored God for the things that he's doing for you. But it wasn't an overflow. But that's all right. That's why he gives us his daily opportunity. If he woke you up, this was a daily opportunity to let that cup overflow. So I'm just trying to get your mind working. Get your mind in the right place. Even when we did the offering, Sister Felicia gave an awesome scripture. She made some comments about the scripture that was tremendous. But it didn't overflow.
All right, Pastor, all right.
When Brother Eric came in, and he whatever we forgot or whatever, it don't even matter. But the one thing about it is, and this is what I want to tell us, and this is something that Mother Jefferson hit home with. She was talking this week. Sometimes you might say something, or sometimes you might feel a certain way, but it's up to you the way that you take it.
That's good.
Because I was sitting there and I'm just getting your mind going. I mean, I ain't no preacher. I don't know what I am right now. I'm a preacher, teacher, whatever you want to call it. But he could have got offended by the fact that she held the mic in the dressing room. She could have got offended because he might have forgotten. But how you approach things, you control your own spirit.
Right.
So everything don't have to be detrimental to you just because something happened to you.
All right now.
That's the word.
Possibilities and opportunities are sitting at our fingertips. God has given us a purpose, and now it's time to act on it with authenticity and courage. Authentic, unique. We are unique creatures. But it's up to us to get our authenticity out so it can be displayed. Because we in control. Today's message is know your call. Know your call. Every Christian has two callings in life, a spiritual to salvation and a vocal calling, which is your employment, vocational calling, your employment. We all hit the clock every morning that we wake up. No matter if it's to go to our jobs or to go work for God. But I want to talk about the one working for God. Every day that he wakes you up, you're on his time clock. And it's up to you to do the job correctly. How many of us can go on our job and act a fool and don't get fired? How many of us can go on our job and start a fight and don't nobody say nothing? How many of us can do something out of order when we know it's out of order and don't get in trouble? How many of us can do that? But you're on the job.
Well, Lord.
He woke you up to do his job. He didn't wake you up so you could have fun. He didn't wake you up so you could stay in the bed. He didn't wake you up just to do what you want to do. He woke you up for you to do what he wanted you to do.
Amen.
You're on the clock. And the clock is ticking.
Lord,
And see, I guess that's why that scripture continued, John 14, continued to hit me. Because even when I preached at Sister Tammy's funeral, I told us about opportunity decisions. And the one thing about it is we don't know the day or the time.
that's right.
So if I don't know the day or the time, why am I going to act the fool on my job?
Yeah, come on, help us, help
Well, I
us.
know I'm going to get fired.
Yeah.
See, I'm just trying to wake your mind up.
Yes, amen.
Because I want you to know that you're getting somewhere and you're going somewhere. So you might not have all those amens, you know, you may not live with jump around with the Holy Spirit, run around like we talked about, some people run around in their churches. You might not do all that. But when you leave out here, I bet you leave with a thought.
Amen.
Oh, how I love Jesus.
Yes, yes.
Because he first loved me.
Yes, yes.
So we have salvation and vocational calling. They separate, but they inseparable. The first one informs you that you live out of your second calling. You live out of your second calling. So your calling is your vocational job. Because you're trying to get to your salvation. So you live out of your second calling. So we all like to say we want to go to heaven. But what are we doing on our jobs?
Help us, help us.
What are we doing on our jobs? Now, the one thing that I want to make sure that I always like to get the clarity. Just because you might be doing bad on your job right now, don't mean you can't change it.
That's good.
So just because you might have done something that you know was wrong, don't mean you can't change it.
That's right, that's right.
See, the message is there to transform you.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't believe that God will have me preaching to you if he didn't want something to happen in you.
Help us.
And if it's happening in you, he want to keep you motivated for it to keep happening in you.
Yes, yes,
See, that's what I'm learning about preaching.
Yes.
Because I keep saying, God, why you? It seems like I preach on the same stuff all the time.
It's all right.
And he keeps saying the word is what it's the same thing all the time. It ain't changed.
That's right. Hallelujah.
If you go through the Bible, it ain't nothing but directions, information, informing you of things. So why you ain't got to worry about what you feel like, because this is what I like. I like for you to instruct my people. Talk to my people, not talk through my people. I want them to be informed. I want them to get some form of intelligence, some knowledge, some wisdom out of this. I don't just want them to walk out the same way they walked in. So this is my job. This is my employer.
Amen.
The realization of what Christ has done for us precedes a compulsion to live for him. It says, when we are talking about one's calling, we are speaking about the vocational kind of answers. Then we sometimes need to ask ourselves this question. I've decided to follow God, but how does he want me to use my gift and possessions? I've decided to follow him, but how does he want me to use this gift and possession? We all know if we go on to a job, I was talking to my cousin, and he does, he's a safety inspector. And at his job, they didn't have one. And they hired him on because they were starting to have a little complications, so they needed a safety inspector to be able to cover the lawsuits and things of that nature to say they got somebody in place. But he said he didn't know nothing about the job. Because the safety inspector, basically, when they go in, it may be a variety of things that they have to perform, but it's still their job to safety, to provide safety for that building. So he said he had to do all X, Y, and Z. He had to change some things that people was getting offended in. But they said, we've done it this way all our life. All these hours since we've been here.
Help us.
This is the way we do things. It's been working for us.
Come on.
But he said there's no safety in that.
Yeah.
See, and then he started having to send it to the VP because he needed to get them to understand that this is real. Because sometimes we do things and don't nobody know it. But then he told his boss, the boss that was the supervisor, he told him, did you know that they was banging these crates against this just to soften up the, it was like powder or something like that, but it was chemicals. He said to soften it up. He said, no, I didn't know. I didn't know they was doing that. What people do, protect them on their own selves.
That's right.
See, when you caught up in the rapture, then you start protecting your own self.
Uh-huh.
You start acting like you don't know nothing. God, I didn't know I was going to get in trouble if I did that. You knew you was going to get in trouble if you did that. God, I didn't know this was going to happen if I did that. You knew that was going to happen if you did that.
Come on. Preach.
That's what we like to do. Make excuses for our excuses.
Help us.
I'm just trying to keep your mind going. That's all. I'm just trying to keep your mind going. Don't worry about it. You might not think I'm a preacher, but I don't know what I am. I'm a preacher, teacher, whatever you want to call it. She said, be who you are.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm going to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
But sometimes we got to ask ourselves that question. It says asking the right question is critical for discerning our calling. We have to ask the right questions to God to really walk into our calling. It says oftentimes we fail to ask the correct question, and when we wonder why, we are dissatisfied. Seeking God is for your life beginning by asking yourself, what keeps me awake when I should be falling asleep at night?
Oh my.
That's a question that some of us need to ask. See, I always say God wakes me up at some weird hour sometime.
Yeah.
And I had to come to the conclusion, I need to stop trying to fall back asleep
Right. Right.
and just get up and do what he tell me to do.
Right.
Then I can go back to sleep.
Yeah.
I've always been able to go back to sleep after I accomplished the things that he told me to do.
Yeah.
See, some of us trying to sleep too much.
All right. All right.
Help.
And when we sleep on the job, what we get?
All right now.
Fire.
We get fired.
So understand some things. Can't sleep on the job. If God wake you up in the middle of the night, you better say, God, what are you waking me up
I
for?
know that's right.
What would you have me to do?
Yeah.
What are you having me to accomplish? What am I doing wrong? What's going on? Because there got to be something going on if God waking you up at night
Right.
and you can't sleep. So we need to sometimes ask that question. What keeps me awake when I should be falling asleep at night? Expose ourselves. And sometimes we expose ourselves to anger, crying. All these different things can go through our body system. And it's an emotion that God has given us. The second question is that we should ask ourselves, what wakes me up when I should still be sleeping in the morning? See, some things happen at night and some things happen in the morning. I went to a funeral yesterday and the pastor said, he said a great analogy. He said that sometimes when God wakes him up at night, it was like 5 o'clock. God had woken him up, gave him a word for the eulogy. And then he said he sat there and pondered on it. And then all of a sudden, after an hour or so, he realized the light came on. And when we did the eclipse this week, if you had the opportunity to see the eclipse, the moon blocked the sun. And in some areas, it made it dark. But in some areas, it was still light.
All right.
It might not have been as bright as we wanted it,
Come on
but you
here.
still had an opportunity to see the light.
Come on here.
So when God said, let there be light,
Yeah.
what he was talking about in your life, let there be light. Because you're going to have dark moments.
You better believe.
You're going to have moments where you might not be able to see where you're going.
That's
But the
good.
light will still illuminate in the morning. The
Yeah.
light still will come on if you're allowed to come on. The lights
Ooh, that's
is
powerful.
always shining bright in
Yes.
darkness.
Yes.
The moon couldn't stop what the sun had, his capabilities. The moon just blocked it for a moment.
Okay.
And then had to get out the way.
And right away.
Get
Hey!
out the way.
Yes,
So the devil is trying to divide you. But the devil gonna have to get out the way.
Get out there.
Because the
Yeah.
light is starting to shine.
Come on,
See, the
man.
light bulb on top of our heads is starting to come on now.
Come on.
Okay, I see where he's going. I see what he's trying to do. He's trying to get us to understand that my God is a good God.
Yes, he is.
That all things are made perfect in his will. As long as I allow him to do what he needs to do. Let God be God.
All right, Jesus.
All right
That's
now.
powerful.
All right now, Pastor.
Hey.
Be who you are. Many people today feel like great pressure to succeed, and results creates and accept a different persona about themselves. Sometimes we pretend to be somebody we're not. And God had spoke to me, and I gave it to one of my children, and it says, God can't bless who you pretend to be.
Okay, right.
He can't bless who you pretend to be. He wants your full potential. He wants to invest in what you're actually doing. But he can't bless what you pretend to be. Pastor KATRINA always says, we want the blessings and not the blesser.
Wow.
See, and what happens with that, if you want the blessing and not the blesser, that means you pretending to be somebody that you're not.
Come on.
Because if you truly was on that one accord with what he had, you want the blesser before you want the blessing. Because the blesser is the one that gives you the understanding about the blessing.
Yes.
See, if he gives me $20 right now, if I don't know that it's a blessing, and I ain't got no good relationship with him, I know what to do with it.
Come on.
If he gives me a new car, and I get the blessing, if I don't know the blesser, how do I know how to appreciate it?
Yes.
When he pays my bills when I didn't even know how to pay my bill,
Yes.
how do I know what to do with that?
Yes.
See, we get blessings. Just like Dr. Boyd said, we had an opportunity to get up, put on clothes,
Yes.
pick it out.
Yes.
That's a blessing.
Yes.
Some of us got our hair done, all that looking good, you know. Some of us guys, you know, some kids got their shoes on, everything looking good. That's the blessing. But how do you know what to do with it? If you don't know the blesser.
Yes.
If you ain't got a good relationship with the blesser. I'm going to tell something out for myself, and I kind of did this intentionally. Anybody notice something familiar about me in the last couple of weeks? Thanks for the comment. I hope I'm getting skinny here. The one thing about it is, this suit right here, I wore this suit for the last 5 weeks. All I did was change the shirt. Don't nobody know nothing about you unless you show it, unless you tell them. So sometimes you going through something, and all you got to do is close your mouth and listen, follow procedures. All I did was change the shirt and tie. But it looked new every time. It looked like I put on something different. God is the same God always. He's not going to change. You're going to put on the same suit every time if you let him put your suit on. And even if you change something, you still going to look good. Because you're allowing him to dress you. Stop dressing yourself. Stop dressing yourself and let God dress you. Then things will go according to your calling. That was the Holy Ghost right there. That was pretty good there. I like that one. I have to let y'all know that the Holy Ghost shoulder. I like that Holy Ghost. Keep working in it. Everybody had to anoint myself. Lord, let me make sure I do this right. Y'all don't know, boy. I love my God. I ain't trying to make him my enemy. I want my blessings. I want my room. Some of y'all room gonna be like LaQuinta Inn. I want the big room, the suites. I want all my amenities. You ain't gonna leave nothing. Oh, you was acting a fool, so I ain't gonna put this out there. No, you gonna give me all mine. I'm working hard for you down here. I want my whole paycheck. You ain't gonna take none of my money. Let me get back on this. To God be the glory. To God be the glory. I gotta get back on this. Yeah, let's go on down here. God spoke, he said, don't take yourself too seriously. Don't take yourself too seriously. And what God was trying to hit on when he said that is, sometimes we take ourselves too serious. We think we're supposed to do a certain thing, be a certain way, I gotta act a certain way. He said, don't take yourself too seriously. It ain't that serious. You got to be able to enjoy life. Laughter is part of the process.
Yeah.
You got to be able to enjoy life. Just because you may go home and all hell breaks loose every time you go home, don't take yourself too seriously. Sometimes when all hell breaks loose in my house, all I do is go sit down and watch TV. I'm not finna get indulged in that. Y'all can do that if you want to. I tell you, like Hannah, Josh, they want me to get an iPhone. I ain't want no iPhone. Because then I got y'all iPhone problems. Who got my card? Where my block at? Y'all, I don't want that problem. Sometimes just simplify your life and keep it simple. Don't make things complicated. Yeah, iPhones may be the best phone. But this Galaxy and this LG, I don't know what I got now, it works just as well. And the other thing about that process, thank you Holy Ghost again, some of y'all bills is too high because you got an iPhone. Then you wondering why you can't pay X, Y, and Z. You robbing Peter to pay Paul. I almost didn't get me no phone. I'm like, I don't want no phone. This thing's too high. So when I went in, I said, I want something cheap and good. Cheap and good. If them two go together, I don't know. But I want something cheap and I want something good. I don't want to pay too much for it, but I want something good. Some of us paying too much. We paying too much. God gives us choices. God helps us to make decisions. And then when we go through that, we paying too much. Some of us that far you didn't have to go through. You didn't have to go through those trials and tribulations. You paying too much. You paying too much. You didn't have to go down that hill. You paying too much. You didn't have to be in the valley. You paying too much. You didn't have to be in that situation. You ain't have to be with him. You ain't have to be with her. You paying too much.
Hallelujah.
You paying too much. Paying too much. It don't cost all of that. God is good.
Good word.
The one thing I know about God is when He start working in me, He know how to shut it on off. Because what we gonna understand is we have a call. We have a job. The two things, spiritual one to salvation, which we all desire. We all desire that. But our vocation, our job, is what we got to desire more. We can't get to salvation if we're not doing our job. We can't get there. We can't get there. We got to do our job right while here on earth. We want God to say, well done, my good and faithful servant. We want that honor. We want to get our full paycheck. We want to get everything that God has for it. There, you can play a little something. We want God to be God in our lives. And in order for God to be God in our lives, we have to let God be God. God is a blessing. He's a blessing. He wants us to be blessed. He gives us every opportunity, every time we wake up, for us to punch that clock the right way. And I'm going to finish with this. And I almost forgot. I was supposed to have this in my hand the whole time, but this is a wrench. And in a wrench, no matter how big the screw is, all I got to do is adjust it. All I got to do is keep adjusting. So if it's a little screw, I just adjust it to be little. If it's a big screw, I adjust it to be big. But there's no screw too big that our God can't handle. So if this wrench ain't big enough, He got another wrench that's big enough for you. So whatever's going on in your life, don't get discouraged. All you got to do is keep letting God adjust it. Adjust the wrench for you to get the screw that you need to take off or to put on. What I want is, if you know in your life that you need some adjustments, and the one thing about this is sometimes we don't know how to get there. But sometimes allow to confess out of your mouth and allow someone to pray for you, or you pray for yourself. Life is about opportunities and decisions. This is an opportunity for you to say, God, I give you all the honor and I give you all the glory. We can do a lot of things in private, but God wants to see how you're going to act in public. Because when you're in public, that's when we tend to act out or act accordingly. A kid can come in my class and he be the best thing since sliced bread when he walks in. But then as soon as his friends start talking to him, and he gets distracted. Some of us, our friends are talking to us too much. And we get distracted. Because all of us have a call. All of us have a job. So if you will, I'd like for you to just come to the altar. I will anoint you and you pray in your own way. Because this is your job. Nobody keeps their job because somebody else did good. You only keep your job if you do good. You only get a promotion if you do what you're supposed to do. Not with somebody, I can't get you a promotion. I'm working on my promotion myself. So your calling is your calling. You know what God got for you. You know if you're doing your job right. You know if you need to be fired, but He keep you hired. You know all the circumstance that goes along with your job that you're doing and that you ain't doing. So it's up to you to make the decision and take advantage of the opportunity. So I'm going to ask you just to come to the altar if you feel the desire. If you don't feel the desire, that's not my job for you to. I can't want to go. I did what I need to do. I turned the light bulb on. The light bulb is on.
Hallelujah.
Now it's up to you to turn the switch. To say that I'm going to change this.
Hallelujah.
I'm going to walk on my job the way that I should walk on my job. He woke me up and gave me this opportunity, so I'm going to do my job right. I'm going to stop being the one that hindered the blessings from coming forward. The blesser is trying to bless me. So if he's trying to bless me, let me put myself in a position